Guys who are addicts are the best because when they fall for you, they fucking
I know. I'm like,
love
well,
you.
they have to be addicted to something. Might as well be me.
Oh my God, that kind of love is like next level.
Which is obviously not healthy. Not good. Obviously.
Not healthy, not sustainable, but fun for 2 months.
Hi, everyone. Hi, besties. I'm Bella Benson. Welcome to another beautiful episode of Almost Adulting. I'm reporting live, not so live, from New York with my Gemini bestie, Hannah Berner.
I'm a Leo. Who you calling a Gemini? You want to fight? You want to start a fight right now?
It's so funny. On my flight here, I was thinking, you know what? Even though she's a Gemini, I still really like her.
Hell no.
That makes so much more sense why I like you. Not there's anything
Wait,
wrong.
you're like, this whole flight, I couldn't understand how I still liked you as a Gemini.
I was like, you know what? It's one flaw.
Leo sun, Virgo moon, Scorpio rising.
I'm basically a Leo just born in the wrong month. Anyway, she's a funny internet personality known for 5 seasons of Summer House, her 2 hit podcasts, Jiggly Squad and Burning in Hell, with over 20 million downloads. She was a co-host on Bravo's chat room. She also performed stand-up in New York City and at clubs around the country. And she just got booked this past month as a resident in Vegas.
I'm doing one show at the Wynn
so I'm
in Vegas.
manifesting for you.
But maybe
By the
an
time you guys
Adele
listen
moment.
to this, she's going to be a resident.
Maybe an Adele moment. Do the girlies in LA come to Vegas for shows?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Okay.
It's an hour away.
Yeah, okay, because I don't really know the West Coast, so I'm like, who's in Vegas? I guess it's like bachelorette parties, cool girls from LA, DJs.
The girlies in LA come to fuck
the Reno girlies. They fuck the DJs at the...
Or they go to fuck Dan Bazarian.
Is he
in Vegas?
Oh,
yeah, he's in Vegas.
You ever give him a blowjob?
Me? No, I haven't. You know, one time, Dan Bazarian would like randomly, because he follows Daddy, which is I follow him too. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He would always sometimes randomly chat with me in the DMs. And this was years ago, and in a lot of ways, I'm very innocent. Like things go over my head all the time. Like whether I'm dating, I have no idea that I'm on a date at the moment with a guy, or I have no idea that I'm exclusive with guys. Like things always go over my head.
Yes.
And I remember I was invited to go to the Grammys for something, and they booked all of us flights on Southwest. And I told him that I'm going to the Grammys, and he goes, "Oh, you can actually. Why don't you borrow my jet? We have to grab the jet to Vegas anyway, so you can just get on the jet, the flight to Vegas for us to take it." And I said, "Oh, no, thank you. They booked the Southwest, I think. So I'm just going to go on that."
He was trying to be eco-friendly and have 2 for 1.
My dad taught me there's no such thing as a free meal.
Actually, that is so right. In this industry, what I've learned is nothing is free.
Yeah.
Nothing. At the beginning, you're like, oh my God, everything's free. And then suddenly you're indebted to hundreds of people.
But now that I'm older, I've also learned just because someone does something nice to you doesn't mean you owe them anything.
True.
So I feel like I missed out on a lot of opportunities that I could have really enjoyed. And then I would have been like, no, thank you. Sorry. You already gave me. But I just don't like to be in those uncomfortable situations.
No, some girls I think are so like spontaneous, chill. They're cool with those situations. I'm like, okay, are there snacks? Like, what time are we going to go to sleep? Because I really want to get 10 hours. Like, I'm not chill with that.
Okay, but guess what you're not going to believe?
What?
So some of my friends have banged him. And I was like, okay, but he's so buff. Like, he has the small one, right? They're like, it's like a Coke can.
Ew,
like,
I don't want it that wide.
Yeah, they're like, it's so big. It's insane. I'm like, what?
I mean, it makes sense because it's like the amount of girls he has around him. He must be working with
It
something.
makes sense because he's like a very calm person. And I feel like calm dudes have big dick energy.
That's why I always liked shy guys. I always thought shy guys had a huge dick.
Not that it even matters. Obviously, now it's a big focus that
honestly,
I
feel like the men care more, and that's why some of them are more confident because they'll be like, yeah, the big dick. When realistically, if I say huge dick, I'm like, oh my God, I have to do like a breathing pattern. I have to meditate.
Yeah, we talked about it in one of the episodes.
Visualize.
No, I'm good.
It's a whole, it's talk about journeys.
First of all, if I decide to sleep with you, I'm so excited for the journey. I'm so excited to be there. I'm excited for both of us and what's to come that night. And hopefully it's both of us. Secondly, if you can make your woman orgasm, she's not even paying attention to what your size is. So
also, most of the time, it's not the dick that makes girls orgasm either. So
yeah, guys don't realize that.
No.
And most of the time, guys with big dicks don't know how to use it. You can just tell some of these guys when they talk, you just know they've never made a girl come.
We were saying during first dates, we need to ask some questions before you're in the awkward position with him where you start making out and you're like, "Oh no, this is gonna be bad." You gotta ask early on. So do you like going down on women? Even if you're joking, see how he reacts. Get a vibe.
Yeah, and if he's like, that's not really my thing," you're like, "You're not really my thing.
Mhm.
Bye."
Like, even if it wasn't your thing, don't tell people that. Lie.
No, I think you should, so then I can block you.
True.
I don't even, to be honest, half the time, it's not even that good. Sometimes they don't really know what they're doing, but it's
Yeah.
just like, you know what? At least you did that.
Guys like, "Oh, I love going down on women." I'm like, "You're literally just, like, poking your nose in her pussy and praying. You're doing the alphabet. You can't even do the alphabet because you've got hit in the head too many times because 'cause you're a lacrosse player." Sorry, I'm getting too specific.
Okay, so I first want to bring up the elephant in the room. What's going on with your arm?
So, as an elite athlete doing the Winter Olympics,
Mm.
I was on a green skiing and I fell and broke my hand. But I had a really bad attitude. Like, I was exhausted. I was touring all week, and my husband loves skiing, and I really wanted to love skiing. Like, I wanted to love it so bad. And I have that, like, past trauma of, like, people loving me more when I was good at sports, especially men in my life. Tennis, like, all the dudes were like, "Oh, she's so great, she's good at tennis." So I was like, "This is a new sport, this guy loves the sport, I have to tackle this sport." But, like, I'm not an adrenaline girl. Like, I have enough adrenaline just waking up with my, like, anxiety disorder just existing in life. I don't like the roller coasters. I don't
That's
need
so
to jump
crazy
off a
because you're an
plane.
athlete.
You know how much adrenaline I get from stand-up and just playing sports?
I mean, stand up itself is insane.
It's like a drug. I don't need more than that. Like, I don't wanna jump off a plane. I don't care for the thrill. And I
Yeah.
feel like skiing, there's a thrill of, like, I'm going so fast down an icy mountain, where for me, I'm like, that's just seems like a problem's about to happen. That seems like another thing I have to worry about.
Then
Also,
you
once you get down to the hill, I'm like, "Did I
but
win? Like,
also,
what
after
happened?"
5 minutes of doing the same thing, you're like, "Hello, are you
Okay, that's my
joking?"
thing too. Like, people wanna do it for, like, 4 hours, and I'm like, "I don't wanna do anything more than an hour."
And you just move your feet
I
like
can't think of
this,
one thing I like doing more than an
or you
hour.
go like this, like, you can run like that.
Well,
You
yeah,
don't need to
you
seat
start doing the
down.
weight like, I started getting like, I took tons of lessons, 3-hour lessons in the mornings.
Wow.
I've done multiple ski trips, and then my husband was like, "After all these tours on the West Coast, let's go to Vancouver and ski," and I'm like, "Yes."
And you're
I
like,
get
"This is
there,
my
I
time
wake
to
up in the
shine."
morning, and I was like, "I'm tired. I wanna sleep in. I don't wanna fucking go on the mountain right now." Like, I really manifested injuring myself, which is so fucked up to say, but, like, I was in the mirror, I took a photo, and I wrote "send help," like, before I went, and I deleted it because 'cause I'm like, "This is bad karma," but in my head, I'm like, I, like, made it happen. Manifestation's so fucking powerful. I was in such a bad mood about it. I had negative self-talk. I was like, "I don't wanna be here. This is stupid." Of course I injured myself. First run, I had a bad fall, and I had bad luck. Cause you fall all the time. I bad luck fell on my body fell on my hand in a weird position. I just, like, so gross, crushed my hands.
And then what happened?
I had a panic attack because I, like, was like, "Oh my god, my hand's broken." Like, once you realize, like, "Oh my god, my hand's broken," your world just starts closing in
What does
on
it
you.
feel like when your hand's broken?
Good question. I also get really grossed out by this stuff, like, I can't even see someone sprain an ankle on TV, I, like, get nauseous. But, honestly, I just you felt like a weird kinda
Is it like this and you can't move your hand?
Yeah.
Is that?
Honestly, pain is so weird because the pain doesn't process quick. It's more like you know that you crushed your hand, and then afterwards you're like, "Oh, I can't move it." And then I was lying there, and then my husband's like, "Are you good? Get up." And then the pain was bad, and then I start panicking.
Imagine if he was like, "Are you good? Okay, meet me down there."
No, well, he also had turned around and yelled, like, "Watch out," because it was, like, a weird area, so I think he also kinda startled me, but I'm not gonna blame him because we're not playing the blame game. I'm very spastic on the slopes.
Haven't you learned your lesson from manifesting your fall? You're like, "I'm just gonna blame everything else, the world, for my issue."
The world's just, like, turning on me. So he was like, "Do we call ski patrol?" And ski patrol seems super dramatic. Ski patrol is, like, when people fucking hurt themselves. Like, people are falling all the time, but to call ski patrol, like, you are having issues. But I'm having panic attack. I obviously don't wanna I can't ski with my if I God forbid I fall on my hand again. So we call ski patrol, and we start dying laughing because I end up feeling a little better, but my hand's fucked up, and I'm hungry, and I'm like, "Can you guys just get me down?" So they put me in this toboggan thing, and my husband starts filming it. I joke, like, I'm one of those people where it's never boring, and I don't mean, like, I'm so fun, I mean, like, sometimes fun, sometimes it's drama. There's just shit always follows me and I can't help it. And so we just start dying laughing. Like, of course, I'm in a fucking toboggan. And then I'm like, my hand's freezing because they had to like wrap it so the fingers were out. So I'm like getting frostbite. It's burning because the frost, it's fucking horrible. And I'm like, I can't wait to never ski again. Like, I actually started getting happy because I was like, I don't have to ski this weekend.
That is so funny. Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you about that. If you ever see skiing in your future or you just decide to retire.
Dude, I love learning new things. I love athletic shit. And I was like, my husband loves it. And I'm like, this is me now. I'm an outdoor ski girly. And
Girly.
I'm not. Like, I don't like outdoor shit. I don't even like to camp. I don't know what I was thinking. I like my feet on the ground. I like to feel the ground and be sturdy. So I actually had to deal with some internal shit. Cause if I had just spoken up for what I felt like, and if I just said, babe, I don't want to ski today,
Yes.
I wouldn't have gotten hurt. But I am the biggest people pleaser in this fucking world
Too.
because my whole life, you're a good athlete if you don't hear your inner voice. You have to constantly be like, I'm not nervous. I'm not scared. You have to like gaslight yourself. And then you just ask your coaches, what do I do? So I go into that zone of like, Des, what do you want me to do? Okay, I'll do it. When realistically, I also didn't want to disappoint him. He was so excited to ski with me.
Aw.
But then you have to
Right,
think,
you want your partner to be happy. You want to, and it's like when your partner is so into something, you want that to become your
yes.
thing
And he
too.
kept telling me, he's like, why are you going on all these podcasts saying you hate skiing? I thought you loved it. And I go, this is the thing.
Aw.
I wanna love it for you, but, like, I'm talking on these podcasts because 'cause I'm, like, finding my inner voice, and I started doing all these stand-up bits shitting on skiing. I just posted one. So funny because then, like, the day
It is
after,
karma.
the ski gods got me. They fucking got me on the green.
They're sensitive.
I do have to work with my people pleasing recently too, like, in this career we're in as entrepreneurs, like, sometimes you're busier than others, and when you start doing well, you get busy. When something bad happens or whatever, you're not busy, and I've had the ups and downs in my career where, like, no one's hitting me up, suddenly everyone's hitting me up, so I
Like
never
me,
take it
I'm
for
like, "Hey,
granted.
bestie." I'm kidding.
No, you've been a consistent bitch, that's why I love
Yay.
you. Recently, I've been, like, getting busier, and I feel like I have to say yes to everyone. And it's like, how do I decipher which people to say no to? And then it's like, do you just say no to everyone and just say yes to the things that are super important? Because, like, I'm only one person,
Yeah.
but I want to be a superhero and I want to make everyone happy.
No, I stopped doing that. At this point, I kind of just, because I forget who said this, if it was on an episode that I just recorded or where I heard this,
Yeah.
where part of growing up is starting to listen to your body. That means that morning when you woke up and
My
you're like, I'm
body was-
feeling tired and all this, you need to listen to it. Like your body is telling you, actually, maybe don't work out today. Like instead of forcing yourself, like, no, I got this, I can do this. Your body's telling you today's not the day.
Because your mind will lie to you, but your body won't.
Exactly.
That's
That's
like
why
when you start having panic attacks when you're with the wrong guy, or when you like can't eat when you're with
Yes.
the wrong guy, or if you just start crying for no reason.
Oh, like on your podcast. Yeah, so I just did Hannah's podcast as well, and we talk about my ski
It's so funny.
experience. So we both have really funny fail ski experiences, and I'm gonna post a TikTok that Hannah made. It's brilliant. I'm obsessed with it. It's so funny.
When bad things happen to us, which they do, find the funny in it.
Literally.
It really helped me when I was lying there so depressed with my right hand crumbled to have all my friends and random people enjoying this funny video.
But it's part of growing up is listening to your body. Your body told you that morning that you're not ready for it, and you still did it. And that's what my mom always tells me when I overwork or overdo things. She always tells me, Violetta, you need to take a break. You can't be everything for everyone, nothing to yourself. And she also taught me that
Yes.
if you don't take a break sometimes when you need to, your body will take it for you, and it'll be at the most inconvenient time.
That is literally what happened to me.
Yeah.
Literally what happened to me. And I have to get better at people are not going to hate you because you say no to them.
So the thing is, when people are mad at you or they're upset at you and so on, the thing is, you can only be quote unquote hurt by someone or upset by someone if you need something from them. That's the truth.
Mm.
Meaning, either I needed love from you, I needed a favor from you, I needed money from you. I can only get pissed at you or hurt by you if I needed something from you. That's the only way you have power over me. So when people are upset at you because you have certain boundaries, it's only because they benefit from crossing your boundaries.
You want to be happy in life, right? And making other people happy makes me happy. So then I was just like, okay, the way to be happy is just to make everyone who needs to be happy happy. But then you get to a point as an entrepreneur where like it's not possible to make everyone
Yeah,
happy.
I was in that point recently, and my mom just always just gives the best advice, and she just told me like, Violetta, like life is really short, and I'm like, I know, but I don't want to hurt anyone's. I don't want to hurt anyone. And she said, Look, life is so short. You're gonna hurt people regardless. And in the end of the day, you just have to learn how to put yourself first.
Mhm.
Life is too short for you
Mhm.
to always worry about everyone else.
And I have to be honest, I have to find what makes me happy besides just trying to make other people happy because that seems not healthy. You can't just like always just be living for other people's happiness towards you. You have to internally be okay with yourself and not have well, that's why we're in social media and I love attention.
Okay, so with your right hand being broken,
It sucks.
what can you
I can't
do?
give hand jobs. Not that I ever
Okay,
did give a good hand job, but
right,
it's not
because
an
the best
option.
hand job is
I'm a
with your
little
mouth.
nervy because as a tennis player, like, I really hope this doesn't affect me long term, but you know, like, little things like zippering your pants or, like, opening a bottle, like, I just can't do it right now, and it's driving me off the wall because I am like, when I was younger, like, as a kid, I wanted to, like, walk at 9 months and, like, feed myself and do everything myself, so I feel like a baby, and then I'm also can't decenter men for my life because I have to ask my husband to open every bottle.
Aw.
I know.
You're
So
like,
I'm not a
"Baby, I'm
feminist icon
so
right
weak."
now. I know. I literally just put on my Vang
Does he
my
love it?
toothpaste.
Does he love that you actually need him right now?
No, he's like, "Ugh,
I'm so over it. Can you
so
just
over
heal
it."
already?
Yeah. I guess he does feel helpful, but it's like stupid shit. Like I'm like, "Could you put my sock on?"
Yeah.
And he's the old one. He's the one that's supposed to be, I'm supposed
Yeah.
to be
He's
helping
like, I hope
him.
you heal soon because
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a back brace soon.
Yeah.
I need you to take care of me. I've always been super open about my struggles on this podcast. And as you know, I'm a huge advocate for mental health because if you don't make time for your body and your mind, then your body will find time for you. And it'll be during the most inconvenient times. I used to keep everything bottled up and I didn't think that I needed to talk to anyone until something really bad happened to me and I couldn't hold it anymore. I talk about that all the time. And now I know that that was wrong. I also used to think that I have my friends, so I didn't need a therapist. But again, I was wrong because a therapist is there to give you the guidance and helping hand before it's too late. And right now you can get the therapist that you need through Talkspace. Therapy can help you shift your perspective, find tools to cope in difficult times, and be a guiding light. I find things to talk about with my therapist even when I have nothing to talk about. I still leave the session like, whoa, okay, I never thought about it like that. Talkspace made it easy to find a therapist you like. It's convenient to meet online, at home, or wherever you're most comfortable. I feel like another reason so many people don't go to therapy is because they think they can't afford it or they can't find the right fit. But guess what? It's actually so affordable and in network with most major insurers, aka it takes insurance. Talkspace makes it easy to find a therapist that you like. It's convenient to meet online or at home or wherever you are most comfortable. It's the #1 online therapy platform with licensed therapists in over 40 specialties, including anxiety, depression, substance abuse, relationship issues, and so much more. At Talkspace.com, you can sign up online and get a personalized match with a provider that's right for you as quick as 48 hours. And the best part is that if you're lazy or just busy, you have virtual sessions with your licensed therapist from the comfort of your home, which is literally what I do because I just cannot be bothered with parallel parking or parking in general. So as a bestie and a listener of this podcast, you will get $100 off of your first month with Talkspace.com. So when you go to Talkspace.com/adulting to match with the licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com/adulting to get $100 off of your first month and show your support for the show. That's Talkspace.com/adulting for $100 off of your first month. Get that therapy, girly. Love you.
It is interesting though. Ooh. For men I know like we love talking about mental health. I did have a weird thing happen though when I hurt my hand. There was this feeling of like, oh, now people can like feel bad for me for a reason. Like when you're struggling mentally, no one will ever acknowledge it. But like when you're struggling
Aw.
physically, everyone is like, "Are you okay?" And for a moment I felt like my exterior matched my interior in a way.
Well, where's that coming from?
I'm very strong like, people would never tell if I'm hurting. So it was nice to, like, have an excuse for someone to actually be like, "Oh, I hope you feel better." Even though, like, emotionally, it's much harder for me in life than physically.
But are you struggling emotionally right now?
I just think, like, I've always struggled with anxiety and depression, and it goes up and down throughout the years, but, like, no one
Aw.
acknowledges it ever.
Right. It's hard when you see someone, especially comedians or people that seem overly bubbly. You're such a bubbly personality.
Mhm.
And I think, yeah, I think we're all to blame for that. I think even myself, I forget myself that you can maybe be struggling because I see on social media that you always look
Oh,
so
yeah, and
bubbly and
social
happy.
media is
You
just the
forget to be like,
happiest.
oh, those people are usually the ones who are hurting the most.
Yeah, and I do think, like, even when bad things have happened to me, my friends are like, "Well, you're tough, like, you're gonna be fine." Or like, "Well, she's not as strong as you." So, like, people have said that shit to me before, and I'm like, "I'm fucking hurting." I just, like, am
Oh,
am good at putting on, like, a strong face, and
yeah.
I'm gonna force myself to, like, work. It was an interesting feeling when I put this on to be like, "See, I'm not perfect."
Oh, but you felt like you finally can get the get
You
what
know?
you're saying. That's actually that's really endearing and slash a little sad.
I know, it's sad
No,
as
it
fuck.
makes no, it breaks my heart that you needed to be injured physically to finally get this type of
A little empathy.
validation and empathy and love that you needed
Yeah,
on from
but
the
it's also
outside
I put
because
on like
you
I'm
didn't
this
know how to
like
ask.
yes, I'm a fucking superhero because
Yeah,
that's what I put out there and that's what I wanna be,
yeah,
but, like, to get injured and have people not also, I feel guilty when I'm depressed, I feel guilty when I'm anxious, and there's always
same.
people who are like, "Oh, it sucks you're sad, you should talk to someone," or like, "Oh, yeah, it sucks that's happening to you," where when you get hurt, everyone's like, "Wow, oh my god, that's horrible, I'm sorry," where no one says that with mental health.
People don't understand how major emotional pain is because emotional pain leads to physical pain. That's the whole part of what my mom's saying. If you don't take breaks for your body will take it for you. Because for the longest time, and I think that's why you and I are able to relate so much, two Gemini sisters. The reason we're able to relate to each other so much, I think, is because we're both play the strong role. I mean, even on your podcast, I said like, but that's not me. Like, I'm supposed to be the strong one.
Mhm.
I'm uncomfortable with feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt shame because it made me feel weak because I couldn't
Yes.
do the thing that I could do. You have to listen to our podcast to know what I'm talking about.
Teaser.
Teaser. But the point is that with that emotional pain is that for the longest time when I wouldn't talk about my feelings, I only knew when I was depressed or needed help or needed to of like, oh my God, I'm hitting a really low point in my life when I would get physically ill
Yes.
because I would hold everything in for so long to the point that my immune system would go down
Yep.
and I would start to get insane allergies from my cat or just from the environment. And then I would get sick. And that's when I would say, uh-oh, something's wrong.
Your body had to tell you.
And that's too long.
Yes.
You're
I mean,
supposed to you figure it out before you get to
yes.
that point.
I had a good friend who was like had a bad addiction problems, and one day he said something crazy, it was so powerful, he goes, "I wish sometimes I just had, like, cancer so people could understand how I feel, because no one has any empathy for, like, addiction sometimes, like, the people around him at the time did not.
Aw.
Like, they were just like, "Get it together, why can't you get it together? This is like, get your shit together." But he's like, "I have a disease,
Yeah.
and if I had a disease like cancer, people would feel so fucking bad for me, but because it's addiction, they don't see it that way." So I did have a weird, like, I've been overworking myself for sure, and
Yeah.
to get hurt and have people like for me to cancel something and to just be like, "My hand's broken," and people be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, sure," when, like, I would never have canceled it before because 'cause I'm like, "What? Because 'Cause you're tired?" But, like, get it together, Hannah, you're strong enough. So I have to work on boundaries with stuff. I'm not good at it,
Me
but
neither. I
yeah.
think I think we're all like that,
And
but
especially as a workaholic, it's like what makes us good at our job, but it also can be what makes us bad at our job.
yeah, but you can't be everything for everyone if you're nothing for yourself.
I mean, preach, period.
Yeah.
Slay.
Moving on without you being all a victim and all, it's like, move on already. Okay. Get over it. God. Okay.
It's okay. I'll be in like 3 weeks, I'll be fine.
Aw.
I'm fine.
I can't believe you purposely broke your hand just so people ask if you're okay. Like, you could have just told me.
Yeah, I could have just not skied, but here we are.
So, except you needing a lot of attention, what else is something that most people don't know about you?
I'm an introvert.
Really?
Like, when I'm out in these streets, I'm giving 150.
Me too.
I'm partying. And when I say, like, not that I'm actually partying, but, like, I'm giving everyone my all. I'm locking eyes. I'm in the deep conversations. I'm serving. I'm present. but then I need to be alone. Like, I need it. Like, I can't go from too many social interactions in a row, and that's where I've been starting to get more, like, understanding of myself, where I'm like,
Yeah.
"You need 3 days alone."
I used to feel so guilty too when I needed my own alone time, and I would constantly be apologizing for it as well.
Or I'd be like, "Am I depressed? Because I, like, need to be alone in bed right now?" It's like, "No, you're recharging."
Okay, but here's the thing. We now live, most of us live in first world countries, not all of
Mhm.
us,
Mhm.
obviously, but the way our life is moving is that 50 years ago, we weren't as fortunate. So now people are finding things to be sad about. And we forget that happiness is an emotion, a passing emotion, just like
Yes.
sadness, just like anger. So when you suddenly don't feel happy today, especially with social media that tells you, look how everyone's happy because it's a reel of happiness, you're like, oh, something's wrong. I must be depressed. No, you're feeling sad. And that's why I did a whole episode about depression. It gives you the differences between feeling sad,
Yes.
feeling depressed, and being
Yes.
depressed.
Yes.
3 different things. It's important to note the 3 different things.
I also am never bored when I'm alone. Like, a lot of people be like, "Oh, like, I don't wanna be home alone, I'll be bored." Me alone with my cat, watching TV, like, I'm never bored in my own space. Also, if I wanna have a mental health spiral, I can. That's not boring. If you
Period.
spend too much time alone, next thing you know, you're playing tricks on yourself.
That's another thing. It's like you have to take care of yourself. So it's good to be alone, but not too much because that's chronic loneliness.
Yes.
And that also gives you physical diseases.
Yes.
So you have to
It's a
avoid
thin
that.
line, folks. It's a thin line. But that's why I've realized, like, with my schedule, if someone asks me to do something, it might be, like, in 2 weeks, and I look at my schedule at days open. I go, "No, no, no. Would you wanna do it tonight?"
Really?
Because you have to think, if I wouldn't wanna do it
I haven't
tonight, I
thought
wouldn't
about
wanna
that.
do it in 2 weeks.
That's really
So I'm trying, because there's too many things that I'm like, I did this to myself. I said yes to it, and now I'm miserable. So I'm working on that. But yeah, I'm pretty introverted, and I'm the kind of person that, like, I'll go hard, but, like, after my shows, people are like, "Let's go out." They give me cocaine. They wanna I'm like, "I have McDonald's at the hotel that's waiting for me, and I love you all, but that's just who I am,
yeah, good.
little grandma."
Yeah, don't do cocaine. You're, like, too old for it now.
Yeah, I did it once on my bachelorette party for the first time, and as a joke, like, just, like, one whatever, but I immediately
Yeah.
just started bleeding from my nose. I was too pure.
Chic.
I know.
Did you
Like,
take a picture? "Wait,
got
guys,
it.
I'm bleeding. Take a picture of me." It's like me
My
crying on the
friends
plane. "Wait, my Bella Hadid moment."
my friends were fucking dying. I don't even drink anymore, really. Like, I can, I'm not sober, but I'm married now, and he's
Yeah.
sober, so we kind of
Oh, well, that's
we just
different.
eat a lot. Eating is my love
Oh, that
language.
also makes sense
I
why you were
could
so passionate about the soberness stuff conversation a second ago. Now I understand because you
Yeah.
have someone in your life that's sober.
Oh, yeah.
So you understand that it's a disease.
I've been, like, attracted to men with addiction problems, like, my whole life for
Me
some
too.
reason, I don't know
It's
why.
weird. I think the reason I like you so much now, it's like I'm like the more you
We're
talk, the more I'm
similar.
thinking, is this a mirror of me? Like, is this why I
Dude,
like you?
guys who are addicts are the best because when they fall for you, they
I
fucking
know. I'm like,
love
well,
you!
they have to be addicted to something. Might as well
Yeah.
be me.
Oh my god, that kind of love is, like, next level.
Which is obviously not
Not
healthy,
healthy.
not good,
Not
obviously.
healthy, not sustainable, but fun for 2 months.
Or for a lifetime for you, yeah.
Well, what's cool about being with a sober guy, I've had friends text me and be like, "I'm talking to someone sober, like, what's gonna happen? Am I okay?" And I'm like, "Dude, first of all, no drunken fights in the mornings. It's never about, like, choosing the alcohol or you, like, it's always just it's not even a factor."
You can date someone also that just became sober the first year.
That's difficult.
It's not allowed for them.
Yeah, that's, like, not technically they have to like, he's been sober since he's 19, he's 47 now.
Right.
He's had this whole journey, and also, like, he's had a lot of good therapy from that because to get sober, you have to understand your brain. It's not about the alcohol, it's, like, understanding your thoughts and
Yeah.
self-control and discipline and empathy and triggers, like, he's done so much work on himself, so when you see a sober man, it means, like, he's accomplished something, it's kinda cool. Even if they might actually like drinking, they know from their genetics, from their family, it doesn't work well, it's not good for the family, and they don't wanna do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Des was sober at 19 because his mom always told him, like, "Alcohol is not good." So at 19, he knew, like, "Oh, I'm going down that road." So
That's
it's pretty
so
mature of
good.
him early on
Yeah.
to do that.
Speaking of, you've been now married, what, I think a
Since
year?
May, almost a year.
Almost a year.
Wow.
Okay. So what's married life like?
It's peaceful.
That's nice.
Even the day after I got married, I felt like a calmness to our relationship that was really cool.
Mhm.
Like, it basically is like, okay, there's definitely no games, there's no worrying, there's no
Imagine
wondering.
still games and when you're married. For fuck's sake, I would just kill myself.
But imagine, like, the morning after, like, even when you're engaged, it's still this drama.
The morning after, you're like, "Do you still like me?"
I mean, there definitely are moments where my mom always said that relationships are like plants. You have to water them or they are gonna die. It doesn't matter how long you've been with the person,
Aw,
like, you have to feed it, and I just felt like a confidence of a that you've never had because 'cause I've only had boyfriends, so when I looked over, I was like, "Holy fuck, that's my husband."
that's
It just
crazy.
was it really felt nice, even though I don't think everyone needs marriage, and I don't think it was essential to my happiness at all. Overall, it's been nice that I could just, like, focus on other shit, know that I have someone who has my back.
Yeah, but, like, do you ever by any chance randomly sit there and, like, feel like you miss one night stands or getting dicked down by, like, a mid dude that's going to let you down? Do you ever miss the rush of being let down by some guy?
Never. I was never really into I never liked the one night stands because 'cause I've had, like, so many, and
Oh,
I mean, no, like, I've had so many. I've just had bad experiences. Like,
mhm,
once you have enough bad experiences, you're like, This is not exciting for me, it's not fun." I have a flirt. I love
me
flirting,
too.
and, like, you don't stop flirting. Like,
It's
you don't stop being in a room and trying to make someone laugh and be like, "Ha," but then you have to fucking deal with their weird dick or the fact that they'll never make you come and they'll cheat on you.
Yeah, I hate that. I love flirting too. I hate that that means people assume something else. Like, I love flirting and I love, like, any opportunity that I have, especially with my friends.
Yeah.
Any opportunity I have to get naked, I'll do it. Like, when you came to my house, we met for the first time and
Oh, yeah.
I undressed in front of you, and then
Within the
you were
first,
trying to
like,
be
5 minutes.
respectful and you looked away and I said, "Hey, look at my tits."
Because she took her shirt off, and I was like, "I'm not gonna I'll let you have some privacy," and she's like, "Look at my nips. Look at them. Look at them."
Because I'm not gonna have nice boobs for the rest of my life. Like, eventually they're gonna
True.
sack to the floor and I'm gonna have to be, you
True.
know, showering by lifting each titty up and, like,
I
washing
do have to
underneath
say,
it.
there is a nice thing, like, the fact that I'm married and have my ring, like, I'm at the comedy clubs, it's all full of men. It's nice to sit there and everyone know, like, no one's fucking me, so, like, let's just we're past that.
You've never heard of comedians cheat?
Comedians definitely
I'm
cheat,
kidding.
but, like, the fact that
Good.
I mean, definitely, like, I feel like female comics, it's like it's like a different thing, like, no one's trying to fuck us
No
on
one's
these
trying to
shows.
fuck a
Like, it's
comedian,
just girls
girl
trying to party
comedian.
with us, and you make good girlfriends, you're like, "That was fun," and if a dude hits you up, you're like, "I'm calling the police." But, like, so it's nice for me to sit and just have fun with guys, and, like, I feel like if I was single, more people would I'd be like, "Is he trying to, like, flirt with me? Does he have a chance with me? Is he drunk?" And it's
Yeah.
making it weird, so I feel like I go to work every night, and I just have my ring on, and everyone knows no one's fucking with me, and I get to just, like, kinda have fun and be myself and not worry about that, like, weird tension.
Do you miss anything about being single or nothing at all?
I miss not having to think about someone else's life when I'm making my own life decisions. Like, you have to compromise
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, if you
I
got a
can't
job
right
in
now.
Scotland, you can't
Literally, I can't just
move.
be like my friends Raina and Ashley, Girls Gotta Eat podcast, hilarious, amazing. They are both single, no kids, and they were like, "We're going to LA," and then they're like, "We're gonna live here, I think." In my head, I'd be like, "Oh, I want to see if I'm gonna be in LA for a couple months." You don't just do that. You have to be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
husband,
Do you want to move
based on your
together?
life and my life, do we think it would make sense?" So I just can't be willy-nilly and off the fly. But I'm with someone who loves to travel, so like we travel all the time. You have to run shit by your partner because you are a team now.
So then what's one thing that when you were single that you're thankful you'll never have to deal with again?
I don't miss meeting someone, and I'm like a creative director. I will immediately in my head like put them on such a pedestal because I love having a crush and make them like
Are
so
you
fucking
me?
perfect. Dude, I would do that so much to the point that like how many of my own feelings am I gonna hurt? Where like I just loved having crushes. So it's nice to now like not have to do that whole like project management.
It's so embarrassing. I love having crushes so much that I even said this on a podcast where one time I dated this guy and he was ghosting me, and for a whole week I didn't even realize he was ghosting me because I was so busy thinking of the our life together that I would text him cute things like thinking about you, can't wait to see you, and then go back to work and I wasn't even paying attention. Imagine trying to ghost someone that doesn't even realize you're ghosting them. Like, how embarrassing is that?
Because you're already like planning the wedding. You're like, hey, your cousins, do they like sitting near your aunts or your uncles? How are we gonna
It's
put the seating chart
no, it's
together?
literally like he's not even there. I'm like, I like you so much, and he's like, I'm not even here. It's like
And you've also like
exactly.
met him once. I once like had this texting relationship with this guy and I was so into him. When I met him, I could not have been more unattracted to him and I was like, "You creative genius. You made this all up in your head. You genius bitch."
Always. Sometimes we're like,
Cuz
I
life
don't
is
even
better
like
with a
him.
crush. I
Oh
love
my
waking
gosh.
up and having a crush.
I get
You
hotter
have a
when I have a crush.
purpose.
Literally, I start dressing nice. I'm ready to go out. I start meeting more guys. I'm suddenly talking to other guys, so I have
Yep.
options. It's insane. It's like your life is so much better when you have a crush. I love it. And you're so right about the creative director because you're like, I'm not really into this guy, but I can make it work
There's
because,
potential here.
and the minute, oh my gosh, falling in love with potential.
And like he's quiet and instead of you being like he's
He's
boring, you're like
mysterious.
he's so mysterious. He's so smart. He's just so calm and beautiful. No, he's boring.
No,
He's boring.
one time I was dating this guy years ago, and I was like, he is so mysterious. He's so this, he's so that. And then one day, the rose-colored glasses came off, and I was like, oh, he's not mysterious. He's actually very stupid. Like, that's not.
But I'm
Oh,
shallow as shit. Like I loved a hot guy back in the day. So I've dealt with like it would take me a year to be like, he's just tall. And he's actually a really mean person. But like it took me so long.
one time I dated a guy that tried to deport me.
And you're like, he's
So,
playing hard to get.
and I thought it was
He's really good at
funny.
politics.
He was like, "Yeah, if you ever piss me off, I can just call Ice. He has Ice in his phone." Didn't question why he had Ice in his phone. All I said was, "You're so funny." No, I'm a citizen now, so it's fine. You can't do that. You're so funny. Anyway, and it went over my head.
It's really manifesting. Like we're very strong manifestors, and I would manifest dudes for me, and then you'd be finally dating them, and you're like, I hate this man. I hate how he breathes. I hate his perspective on life. I hate all of it. So I do think that I would play a lot of games in my own head, and it would drive me insane. The way I got over it was I had one really bad relationship where it was so bad on my mental health that I actually was like, oh, I'd rather not have a crush. This one was more like a relationship, and he just made me feel horrible about myself. So I was like, I'd rather be alone and feel like myself than be in a relationship that I don't feel like myself. And that's when I started to
Aw.
like see clearer. Yeah. Don't feel bad for me.
Okay.
It was
I
good.
thought you
It was
wanted
good
people
for
to feel
me.
bad for you.
No, I'm over it. Now
Okay.
I'm strong. Now I'm
Sorry. Let me know.
Now I'm Superwoman. She's back.
What would you say the dumbest thing that you've ever done when you were single that now you can laugh at? Like me, I can laugh at the guy trying to deport me.
I feel like college was pretty embarrassing.
Okay. What's the
College,
dumbest thing you've done?
I ended this relationship with this like very hot football player. And then I was like, I cannot deal with these athletes anymore. So I started dating is a strong word, the mascot of the University of Wisconsin, Bucky, who was like funny and cute. And I was like,
Oh.
wait, this guy's like relatable. And I also was like, I just went from dating like one of the stars of the football team, like he's gonna be obsessed with me.
Right.
We liked each other, and then I got really drunk one night, and at a bar, I was like, "Let's like be together." And I was like, I literally said, "We don't have to be Facebook official." I was so drunk. We don't have to be Facebook official. Let's just like be together all summer, and it's gonna be amazing. And then he ignored me for 2 weeks, and then I couldn't rack my brain around it for like 2 months.
Yeah, and you know what's the funniest when your friends are like, but you're so high, you can do so much better. You're like, yeah, that's why I'm crying.
That's no, literally, that guy fucked me up more than like any of the other ones because I was like, wait, what's wrong? Like we got along so well. I thought you were like so into me. I thought I could be open and vulnerable. And then he like and then he's like since then has reached out and been like, yo, I was stupid. I'm sorry. But I was like, whatever. I let it ruin my summer. Like I was sitting around there like all these hot guys and I'm like, why doesn't this dude who like I thought loved me doesn't love me? When meanwhile we didn't even know each other very well.
I know, but that's why I think you can't date insecure men because insecure men will knock you down even lower.
And see, I didn't see it like that. I was like I thought he was so funny and cool and like yeah, he wasn't like the hottest and he wasn't
Because they're like, if I can get her, who else can I get?
I was very girlfriendy. Like I was like either we're best friends or we're nothing. Like I wanted like a best friend. I wanted like
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I guess some of these guys in college maybe that could have like really scared him. But I also was
Are
like,
you still
about-
reminiscing why the mascot didn't want you? Like, move on. It's been years.
no,
Move
he's
on.
like he's married with kids.
He doesn't love you. He doesn't love you. Move on.
But it's so funny because like we also would be so bad together. Like that was also like I literally made so many relationships up like in my head. And then once you actually get to know these people, you're like, Hannah, stop. But like you were in love with someone who wasn't them.
Me every time.
Yeah.
They're not even there. They're not even. I didn't. They're not.
That's why the hardest heartbreaks are like situationships because
The idea of what if
'Cause-
we could have been great.
and the situationship he never shows you him fully. When you're dating someone and you end it, you're always like, I know all of him. I know what it's like to be with him. I
you
know the
have
highs,
to
the
fill
lows.
in. You have to fill in all the blank moments, so you create all of them for you. Versus being like he's actually a loser or a terrible person who has a terrible
A
personality.
situationship is a drug. They only see you when they want. It's always like hot moments because you're like, what are we? What are we? This is so exciting. The dopamine's all going. When you're dating someone, that is like someone who's committed to you. They're showing you
Yeah.
know how they are.
Well, one thing that's really cool that I've learned is in situationships, because you're like, why am I always attracting these type of guys, blah, blah, until you one day realize that they're not the ones in control. It's you.
Yeah.
Because you can stop at any time.
Yeah.
You're choosing to chase people who are unavailable. And it could
Yeah.
potentially be because you are unavailable. You're choosing to chase people that you know are going to run away, so you don't actually
Yes.
have to be vulnerable. You don't actually
Yes.
have to open up.
I used to get worried because I would like if something felt a little weird or he did one thing, I would be done, and people would be like, "You're too picky" or whatever. But I was like, "No, I'm not wasting my fucking time." Because if it's that early on, you're having any icks with him, it's like move on. The situationships could be difficult because like if he's like not really telling you, but for anyone's listening, I knew I was gonna marry my husband week 2, and that sounds fucking crazy. No, he kinda knew, and then I, like, fell into it, but, like, you're gonna know early, you're not gonna worry about, like, how he feels about you, and I always knew that was how it's gonna be, so when other guys were, like, taking, like, a year, not that they needed to take longer than
A year is way too long.
a year, but, like, if I'm with a guy for a year and I don't think I'm gonna marry him, I'm like, "Okay, this is stupid."
I don't understand sometimes when people reach out to me and they're like, "So I've been talking to this guy for 9 months, and he just said something like, wow, I don't get why you don't have a boyfriend." I'm like, "What the fuck? Like what?" Just like, girl, why have you been sucking this guy's dick? For
And, like,
9
I'm
months?
telling you, don't waste your time with this dude because you have to close doors to open other doors, and there's other doors, like how you said, like, when you find a guy who actually wants you, you're like, "Holy fuck, this is night and day," and you get what you fucking deserve.
But it's not just that. I've learned that it is actually very important to make a list or to have an idea of what you're looking for, because if you don't, and I've been guilty of this, where you will accidentally date anyone. And I think that's me when I go on and off of dating. I kind of just date anyone. And if I had a checklist in my brain or had an idea of what I was looking for, I would then right away know, like, oh, this guy is a womanizer, or this guy doesn't know where the clit is.
Yeah.
So I want a guy that knows.
Dating is important though, like, fucking up with dating, it's not fucking up, it's practice. It's like
Yeah.
training wheels, because I knew by the time I met Des, I knew everything that I, like, did not want in a man. Because I'm like, I can't deal with guys like this, I can't deal with the guys like this, and it's not, like, that they have anything wrong with them, it's like, me personally, I can't it's not good chemistry for me.
Okay, so you and your partner, which by the way, she didn't invite me to the wedding. No big deal.
Oh my god, I'm
moved on
so
since.
sorry.
It's okay. I was totally busy that day. I don't even remember when it was.
I totally
May
would've.
13,
I didn't even think you would
2021.
wanna come.
Was it May 13,
Yeah.
2021? Oh, that's so crazy. How do I remember that?
That's insane. Wait,
Not even bitter. I don't even care. I literally don't even care.
I literally thought you were too cool to come to my wedding.
You're right.
I know.
Period.
I know.
Don't forget that.
Slay.
Anyway, you guys have a 15-year gap.
Yeah.
And people get really weird about age gaps,
Yeah.
or I think maybe they get weird but you guys are dating in your late 20s, and maybe people, obviously he's amazing, but what would you say some red flags that you should look out for when you're considering dating a catty zaddy?
I love it. Okay, so I do think in your early 20s, it's important to like date other people who are still like their brain's not fully formed yet either. So you're both like learning together, growing together, making mistakes together. Because the problem is if you're in your early 20s with an older man, is there's going to be a power imbalance. There's a power imbalance with money. There's a power imbalance with knowledge. Like he basically will be like, this is how the world works. You're dumb. And like that's not a like good partnership. Like you would not want a friend like that.
Yeah.
And then if he is the only one making money, then it also is you put yourself in a weird situation where like you really want someone who's an equal with you. And you don't always have to be making the same amount of money or have the same amount of life experiences. But like that's why I think the age gaps are kind of problematic in early 20s. imagine us, like, talking to a boy who's 22 right now.
Yeah, it's
What would I
hard.
talk to him about?
My rule is 5-year gap because I like younger guys.
Yeah.
But even 5 years, guys that are younger than me,
I
it's
just
a
think
struggle.
under
I feel
25 is,
uncomfortable.
like, let
No,
them
I
grow the
can't.
fuck up.
I get so
But
uncomfortable.
with me, I do think we have a 15-year age gap, but, like, if I had met him when I was 20 and he was 35, it would've never worked out. He also was in a different place in his life.
Right.
I do think if you're in your early 30s, guys in their 40s are fucking great. I think if they've been divorced, they've, like, learned something, and sometimes those guys are, like, knowledgeable and, like, experienced in a way that other guys haven't experienced. Also, with older guys, I like them because 'cause they're tired.
That's true. That's the only time I started getting along with my dad. He was too tired to yell and, like,
Yeah,
get
like,
all
they're
crazy.
not they don't wanna start fights, they don't wanna go out and do crazy shit, like, they've done it all, and now they just wanna, like, be with you and relax, and that's the kinda lifestyle I want. My parents, I always looked up to, they have a really simple relationship, like, they're so in love, they flirt, they go to work, they come home, they eat dinner, they watch the Knicks game, they
What's their
love
age gap?
2 years. They're
Oh, my
very
parents are
close.
5 years. Wow, everything I copy my I have no original thoughts.
Am I just like, are we in a meta universe? But yeah, they just love having a relationship is having a conversation with a person for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
And
You
like
have
they
to keep
just
wanting to learn
I will
about each
hear them and
other.
they're just like chatting. I'm like, what the fuck are these people still chatting about after 3 years?
So
Oh my
what's the
God.
most hilarious thing that ever happened to you during sex when you were single?
Some girls are like comfortable with guys going down on them. I feel like that's so fucking intimate. Like it's almost more intimate than sex. Like your face is in my vagina. Like my face is not even in my vagina. I don't even know what's going on down there. So the fact that he's there, it's like I haven't checked it. I haven't like gone through all the pages. I don't know what's going on. So this one guy was going down on me, and I have trouble orgasming when guys are going down on me because I'm thinking all the things that could go wrong. I'm like, is it sweaty? Am I poking them in the eye with my pubic hair? Do I have like 7 chins when he looks up? Am I moaning the right way? Should I touch his head? Like I don't
Dude,
know.
that confuses me about the touching the head. I never know. Am I supposed to
Liking
pet
it? Am I
him?
tickling him?
Am I supposed to
Should I
pet
hold
him?
his
What should I do
hand?
with my hands?
Yeah,
Literally.
like what's the angle of my face? Like there's so much. Of course I can't orgasm. So I was like trying. And you know, sometimes maybe it's just me, but when I'm trying to orgasm, I will like you almost like push a little.
Yep.
Okay, good. I'm not crazy. So like sometimes when you're forcing it, you'll like push, like get like I don't know, you're pushing. And I farted on his face when he was going down on me, and he did not take it in stride. Like it wasn't like, "Yeah, babe." Like what like some guys are like chill with farts. Like, "Yeah, whatever." He was like he rolls over. I start dying laughing. He definitely could have got a boner for like years after that. And I mean, it's hilarious, but like I just think it must happen more than just me. Did you never fart in a guy's face?
No, not in his face.
Some
When
people
you told me this, I remember it was silence. And then all my response was, are you okay? Because I was
it
just
could no, it could ruin a
shock.
relationship, it could ruin your life.
Especially when you're younger. Because I had this episode, a Tuesday episode this month, where I mentioned how I was on my period. When I'm on my period, my number twos are very
Yes, diarrhea. Yep.
diarrhea.
Run through.
And my boyfriend, my lovely boyfriend, who I talk a lot on your podcast, my ex-boyfriend, he wanted to have sex. And I was like, I'm on my period. And he's just like, okay, let's have anal. And he shoved it in my ass without asking me. And then I guess got a little on his pee-pee. And he was like, ew, what the fuck? It's so
Dude,
gross.
I
And then
hate
he
him.
dumped me.
I
felt
this
so
man.
bad about myself. For 2 weeks, I just felt so humiliated and embarrassed. Like, how could I do that with my body
Also,
to
like
him?
anyone who knows anal, like
Sorry,
like people
you're gonna
spend
get
whole
pooped
weeks
on.
people spend whole weeks preparing and douching and not eating to have like that like anal. Or if you care about that, then let someone prepare.
Hello, what do you think happens
Dude,
with the
he
bump?
fucking deserved that. I'm so happy that happened. It was a blessing now that we look at it.
Well, we got back together eventually, you know. He forgave me.
But also,
I was
no,
so
that
young,
is
yeah.
so traumatizing. I was very lucky that the guy that it happened to, we had a really good relationship, and he was like, I could do no wrong in his eyes, and it was like, honestly, it was a feminist power move.
Right. Except
But
the
I
fact
also
that his
think,
dick got soft.
yeah, but like, I didn't want to have sex anyway, probably.
Did you guys stop talking after that?
No, everything was fine. But I think
Aw.
also, I've been in
You needed a
relationships
minute.
where I get farty, where like, I'm doing it like self-sabotage, like I'm trying to, like I'm over it. Like I
Yeah.
don't, once I start farting in front of a guy, it's like I don't like him.
Oh, okay.
Like obviously
Maybe
I
your
fart
body
in
was
my
telling you
marriage.
something. Maybe your
Yeah,
body
my
wasn't trying to orgasm.
your
Your body was
will
telling
tell
you.
you don't want this man. Get him
Yeah.
off your pussy. I do think that I've like farted in front of guys to kind of dare them to break up with me. Like I'll be like, do it.
I just feel like there's so many other ways to break up with
I
someone.
feel like my way's way more fun.
Yeah.
And if I'm gassy anyway, it has to go out somewhere. I'm not holding it in. But I know like, oh, you don't care. Like, cause you want to care around the guy. You want to like fart and be like, oh my God, sorry.
Yeah, well,
You want to
not
fart and
everyone
pretend it's a
cares.
surprise. Like, oh, I didn't know.
I care, but yeah, not everyone cares. People were I also didn't grow up with farting or going number 2 in front or in our family. So
It's
then
like
we're
a
used
it's
to
a
that.
cultural thing. I do
Yeah.
want to embrace though that like
Well, everyone's different. I don't want to sit and be fake and embrace something where honestly for me, I think certain things just should be left a mystery.
true. I just if you like some girls will like be dying out here like holding it in.
No,
Like figure it out how to do it in the way
go
that's
to the
best for
other.
you.
Even my girlfriends, if they're
Yeah.
like farting, I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, go to the other room. There's like 7 rooms in this house. Why did you do it when I'm standing right here eating? Like, are you joking?"
I agree. That's just class.
I don't care how close we are.
I
Go
agree.
to the other room.
I agree.
So anyway, guys, where can people find you?
HannahBerner.com. I'm coming to Vegas, New York City, Boston, and Hannah Berner on TikTok and Instagram. And listen to Burning in Hell with Violet Benson and Giggly Squad is my other pod.
And I'm definitely going to have her on more. I don't even need to go on hers. It's just because we had to cut the podcast short, what felt short for me, because I have to catch a flight. I'm busy, catching flights, not feeling.
Yes. Love you guys so much.
Unless you have daddy issues and your dad's dead, then I will catch feelings for you. I'm kidding. Kind of. Okay. Love you guys. Bye, besties.